Hello, Kimball Creek partners and friends. Dean, we get this question a lot, and so I kind of want to set you up for the answer because you're the perfect person to answer this. And that's why Kimball Creek versus a big national chain? Why the local boutique financial advisor? And what I mean is you have Charles Schwab and Wells Fargo and Goldman Sachs and all these really well-known places, and you worked at Wells Fargo. Mm-hmm. And you've been in that space before. From a client perspective, why the smaller local financial advice?
That's a great question, and I think there's been a trend amongst my peers, those of us who've worked in the industry for a long time, you've seen this independent advisor space really grow. And I'll start off by saying I don't mean to disparage any advisor. There are good advisors and bad advisors in all platforms, but one of the reasons that myself and some of my peers have found that when you become an independent advisor, you take yourself out of that large wirehouse environment where you have a company that's trying to do everything and you're beholden to that company as your boss.
Right.
When really we believe you, the client, is our boss. And so we've tried to structure our business so that we're accountable to you. And it just gives us freedom. As an independent advisor, we have access to, the best products. I mean, we're not trying to sell you something. We consciously avoid all those conflicts of interest and do our best to disclose them where they can't be avoided. But I think that's a big reason.
Yeah, and let me just kind of be the advocate for the client of what somebody might be thinking here of, that sounds great, you don't have any boss but me as the client, but is there any added risk going with the smaller local group as opposed to, maybe a big organization? Is there any added risk that you're taking on?
Well, I think the risk that most people worry about, we've seen in the news the Bernie Madoff, people run away with the money. And when you work with us, we're an advisor on your side, but we're not a custodian. So the way we've structured our company is we don't take your money. It doesn't go into our firm's accounts. Your assets, your investments, the cash all goes through LPL Financial or Fidelity or Charles Schwab, whatever's the right fit for you. We work through what's called a hybrid registered investment advisor to do that. It's a compliance term that probably isn't important, but by doing that, the risk of Kimball Creek Partners, if we went under, for example, well, none of our clients' assets are tied up with our firm. I can't take a client's money and put it in my bank account. We're audited by the custodian annually, and our hybrid registered investment advisor, they audit us annually. They're the ones that are making sure that everything's in order.
Yeah.
So I guess the fear that if you want to know that your money's with a large company that's established, well, we want your money to be there too. And so we interview custodians and we want to make sure you're at the right one for you. And so I
think
you get the benefit of the small firm, the advice, the direct thing there, but you have also the benefit of the large firm with all those resources. We access their research. We have access to all the things that I used to have when I worked for large wirehouses. I still have access to that information and resources, but I don't have a boss that comes in and says, hey, we're really pushing this particular fund or this particular product or lending or whatever it might be that month that is a firm priority.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are really good points that while, the client may see you or me or our core team, there's really a large support network behind the scenes that really helps to keep that personal touch, but still that institutional quality.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. We've got the big resource and the personal touch.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's always going to be risk whenever you're invested in the markets. No matter where you go. But here at Kimball Creek Partners, we really do our best to take care of you. And I hope that answers your question of why we might be different, why you should consider us when looking for financial advice.